Hey crafters, welcome to Creative Moments by G. I'm G and today we're going to make a trifold card that is just beautiful. Now we're going to make two cards. The first card is going to be keeping it simple, and the second card, make sure you stay with us because it's going to be over the top. So let's head down to the crafting table. Let's do this. Let me show you what the trifold looks like. Now look at this. How pretty is that? You can tell that we used a lot of patterned paper to do the work for us. You open it up and look at that. Looks kind of like a book, right? And then there's plenty of room to write. If you don't have enough, you can always write on the back. Let me show you how to make this. The first thing you need to cut is the base card. And this base card is 5.5 by 6.5, and we're gonna make a score line. So go ahead and bring in your trimmer. We're going to score it on the long side at 4 1/4. Make sure that you move your cutting blade out of the way. And now let's just give it a good crease. Bring in that bone folder. Now, this becomes our base card. Now, we need to have a mat for here, a mat on the left-hand side if you want it, and then one for the front. We went ahead, we brought in some beautiful paper. Look at this, just love it. And remember, all the measurements and the supplies are going to be listed over on creativemomentsbyg.com. So we cut our mat, which is going to go right here, to 5 1/4 by 4. Let's go ahead and lay that down. Now, be mindful, if you have a directional pattern, make sure you lay it down the right way. So I'm going to bring in my glue, and I'm just going to put a nice thin bead around the edges and an X in the middle so I don't get too much. Just going to lay it down. And I love how this cardstock color, yellow or Daffodil Delight, really makes this pattern paper just pop. Now look what I did for this side panel. Look at that. This is 5 1/4 by 2, but I ran it through the embossing folder just to give it some dimension. Now this is a step that you don't have to do if you don't want to. You can go ahead and leave this blank, but I think it just makes it a little more finished. So we're just adding that, just like that. Now close it, and we want to bring in a mat for the top of it. Now this is just on the back side of this beautiful paper. Look at how well they go together. So let's go ahead and just add that. You will see how quickly this card goes together. It's really all about deciding on what pattern paper you're going to use and what color cardstock. That's the hard part, not the actual putting this card together. So we have our base card put together. Let's go ahead and bring in our mechanism. And on our mechanism, we need that to be 10.5 by 3.5, and we're going to make some score lines. So bring in your trimmer. We are going to score at 2, 3, 5.5, and 8. You will need to go ahead and extend the arm on your trimmer if you're using Stampin' Up. So we're going to score at 2, at 3, at 5.5, and finally at 8. We can put our trimmer up. And now we're going to take the side that doesn't have this skinny little score line right here. We're going to take this side, we're going to put those score lines to the left, and we're going to fold to the right. Find your next score line by using your finger. Fold to the left. Now find your next one, fold to the right, and fold to the left. Bring in your bone folder and let's give every area a really good crease. We need to give this one, turn it over, give this a really good crease, and this one. So let's go ahead and decorate our mechanism. Now, you can double mat, but you need 3 pieces of cardstock for these areas. You need a piece for this on the other side right here. And we have a piece of pattern paper already cut out. We need a little strip for this area. And then we need a piece for the front panel, just like that. So let's go ahead and look at how we're going to do this. Now I'm going to stamp right here on the top. So as we have this already laid out, let's go ahead and stamp. Now what's so great about these mats is you can interchange them. If you decide to have them right on this one, it doesn't really matter how you arrange these 3 panels. But let's go ahead and stamp our message on one of them. Look how cute that is. Now what I did, I decided to go ahead and use my paper and just cut on the corner, cut out some flowers so that I can put this right here, just like that. So let's go ahead and decorate these little mats. And just put it right in the corner. And this one I'm going to put at the top, just like that. I really like to use the corners of your pattern paper because they already have the sides cut for you, and that makes it so nice. Now, you can go ahead and move these around however you want, but I like it just like this. No, I think I'll move this right here so that we have them separated. So I'm going to move our flowers to the first and the third panel. Let's go ahead and get those laid down. This card is going to surprise you at how easily it comes together. We're going to leave this one blank so there's lots of room to write. But once again, you could go ahead and decorate it if you want. You could bring in some more pattern paper. You could emboss it. There's so many things you can do with these panels. Now remember, we're going to take this corner right here. We're going to flip it over, and we're just going to add our pattern paper on the back side because you will see that when you close your card. Once again, if you have directional, make sure that you have it upright. Now we're just going to add this little strip, and I like getting all this decorated before I put the mechanism inside the card. Just makes it easier. Now look what we're going to do on this one. On this one, I'm going to stamp this sentiment. So let's move this up just a little bit. And I'm going to put it right at the top. So tap, tap, tap. We're bringing it straight down and straight up. Don't rock it because that's where you get the edges of ink on the side of your sentiment. And now look what we did. We cut this beautiful pear out of the patterned paper, and we're just going to add it right here, just like that. Oh, look at how pretty that is. So pretty. So we're going to take a moment and we're going to cut off just a little bit of the leaf. Just a little bit right there. It can go off a tad, but not a lot. Let's go ahead and add this to the front of our mechanism. Just like this. And now we have our mechanism created. Look at that. So pretty. Let me show you how to add it to your base card. We're going to take it and we're just going to flip it over. We're going to bring in our base card and we're going to flip it over because we need to be looking at the front panel. We're going to add it right here so that this little piece goes over just like that. Now make sure that you have it centered right where you want it, top to bottom, about the same. And you can see on this side as well. We are going to bring in our tape runner because we really don't need to wiggle. And we're just going to add some tape. And we're going to fold over once we have it exactly straight. Going to just fold over just like that. Get it down, squished really well with our dancing fingers, and now just turn it over. And there it looks just like this. Now we need to attach this panel. Let me show you the easy way to do that. Take this little side panel and push it over the card. Once you've done that, see this first score line? We're going to fold this just like that. We're going to add some tape. And we are going to bring the card to your little, I like to call it a book, but it's a trifold. Now, once you've done that, look at that. It folds perfectly. Oh my goodness, you see how that looks when you open it up? Just perfect. Isn't this a fun card? And really the hardest part is deciding on your color palette, right? What colors do you want to use to cause this to pop? Are you ready to make a second card with me? Let's do this. The second card, we're going to use white cardstock. And we cut it at 5.5 by 6.5. And remember, we're going to score it at 4 1/4. So just give it a good score. Now, while we have our trimmer out, let's go ahead and just move this to the side and let's bring in our mechanism, which is 10.5 by 3.5, and we're going to score at 2, 3, 5.5, and 8. So let's do that. 2, 3, 5.5, extend your arm, and 8. And now we should be able to put up our trimmer because we have our mats already cut. So let's work on our base card. We're going to go ahead and fold this over, bring in our bone folder, give that a good crease, and here is our base card. Now we have decided to use this beautiful paper. Wow, right? How pretty is that? So on the back side of this, we have this beautiful burgundy color. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Let's go ahead and lay that down. Now, we took some Highland Heather and we embossed it with that Forever Plaid embossing folder. Now, this is a 3D embossing folder, so you need to make sure and use those dancing fingers to really squish it down into your cardstock. Okay, now we're going to decorate the front, and look at what we've done. We've taken that paper again, cardstock, and now we're adding that beautiful patterned paper. So let's get those adhered to each other and then added to the card. Now I want to make sure I have them right. This is the flowers are going to the top. Now remember I said this one's going to be really jazzed up. So we have our double matting here. We have the inside of our card. This is our base card. Let's put that to the side. Let's bring in our mechanism, and now we're going to put the two little score lines to the left. We're going to go ahead and find our first score line and fold it to the right. The next one is to the left. Find the next one. It's to the right, and then our little bitty ones, left, and there we have it. Now let's go ahead and add our panels. We're adding our first mat here. We're going to add our second mat, and then we're bringing in some pattern paper just for some interest. So let's go ahead and add those together. Now, if you're going to stamp on these whites, stamp an image and do some coloring, go ahead and do that before you adhere them. It just makes it much easier. But I'm not going to do that. I am actually, once again, letting my pattern paper do the work for me. And I just used the line on the pattern paper and I cut around some flowers. And I'm going to add it just like that. Look at that. Look at how pretty that'll be. Oh, just gorgeous. So I'm just going to put a small line of glue right there. I'm going to add it. And now I cut out a leaf of the pattern paper. So I'm just adding it right here. Just like that. And now I want to stamp just a little message on this one. So I'm going to bring in my Night of Navy. Tap, tap, tap. You made my day. On my cardstock, I just ran it through a corrugating little handheld machine. Let me show you. Look at this. This is so much fun, and it comes in all styles. You can do lines, you can do circles. Oh my goodness, too cute. So you just put your paper in there just like this, and then you just turn it. And look at that. And like I said, that comes in all kinds of designs that you can create. So we're going to add this right here. Now, once again, these lines are pretty deep. So get enough glue in there, add it down, and really press it. Now, on this front panel right here, we're going to add this. Look at that beautiful purple. And remember, you still need to fold this over and decorate it. We're just bringing in some more pattern paper. This is a great way to use your scraps. And while these don't look like scraps, they are scraps. They're from pieces of pattern paper that are too small for something else. We cut them down to size for these little panels. And so look at this. How pretty is that? Just love it. But wait. There's more. I want to go ahead and go back out, and we're going to add this to the front of our card. Now, let's go through this again. What we need to do is just take it and turn the mechanism upside down. We're going to bring in our card and lay it flat, and we're going to put it right against this first score line, because remember, this is our front panel. So if you have a grid mat, go ahead and line things up on the grid so that everything is nice and straight. We are going to add our tape so it holds it really well. We're going to fold over. Let's see, we're going to move it down just a little. Fold over, and now take the whole card and flip it over. Look at that. Just perfect. Now remember what we do? We take this little side panel and we push it over the card just like that. Now look at this first score line. Go ahead and fold on the first score line. Bring in your tape runner again. And now fold your card over to meet your book or your trifold. And look at this. Look at how pretty. We're not done because we're going to jazz up the front, but look at how it opens up. Oh my goodness. And it's really all about selecting the pattern paper and your cardstock. Now let's decorate the front. Let me show you what we did. We took a circle and we ran it through our little machine, our little handheld machine, to add those corrugated lines. We cut some flowers out of the pattern paper and used the die that came with the bundle to cut out those gorgeous leaves. And then we just added them together and put some tape on the back. That way it holds it in the perfect position. And we want to go ahead and we're going to add it like that. And now we have used our thanks for being you. We cut out a little banner. Now this banner comes with the bundle. Look how cute that is. And we just double matted it. And we're going to add this right like that. Just going to put this about right here. Okay. And now we're going to add this right to the front. Just like this. Oh my goodness. Now you have all this area right here. Don't put any tape on this because it needs to open up like this. So we're just attaching it to this side. Okay? So I would recommend going ahead and putting your tape. I'm going to use a tape runner and I'm just going to add some tape to hold it in place. And look at this. Oh my goodness. Are you ready to see this open? Look at this. This is almost like an album, right? It's so beautiful. So take a moment, leave a comment. Which design do you like best? Oh, this is the jazzed up version. This is a simple version. And really, it's all about picking your pattern paper to make it pop. Now, let me show you some other designs that we have. These are older cards that we made. Look at this. Kept it very simple. Added the pattern paper, stamped it, cut out the flowers. Just keeping it nice and simple. We added a gift card on this one. You can just slip it in right there. I showed this one earlier. And then we have another very simple one. We just stamped our flowers. Look at that. We added some Wink of Stella to make it glitter. Kept everything nice and simple. So take a moment and let me know what you think of this design. You can keep it simple or you can jazz it up. Well, we really appreciate you spending your time with us. We hope you were inspired and that you take a minute. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, you do so. Only takes a sec. And that you like and share with your friends to help us grow. Well, until next time, Maudie and I wish you lots of creative moments. Bye-bye.